the south coast of Hampshire, at the entrance to a natural harbour, is one of the best preserved Roman buildings in Britain. This is Portchester Castle. It's one of a series of coastal forts built by the Romans in the 3rd and 4th centuries. They're known as Saxon shore forts because it's still widely accepted that they were constructed to keep out marauding Anglo-Saxon bands from the other side of the channel. But in actual fact, they may have been used for a very different purpose. In total, 11 shore forts skirt the southern and eastern coast. From Portchester in the south, around the coast, these shore forts have been taken as an imposing reminder of the Anglo-Saxon threat, all the way up to Brancaster in Norfolk. One of the most easterly of these forts, Burgh Castle, still commands the landscape. All of the green fields over there
would have been what was termed the Great Estuary. A combination of open water and marsh and intertidal creeks, that kind of thing, probably until 10th, 12th century.
Andrew Pearson has been re-examining the forts and has come to the surprising conclusion that they may have nothing to do with Anglo-Saxons.
I think that the traditional view of these sites is that they are a defence against pirate raiders from across the Channel, from Saxony, from Frisia, from Jutland, basically from the peoples who are in later periods going to colonise Britain.
The name Saxon Shore Fort actually comes from a Roman military list which was translated in the 16th century by the famous antiquarian William Camden. What the term Saxon refers to is unclear.
What Camden said pretty much went as archaeological fact for many sort of centuries to come, really. I think also what he hit on was a very evocative idea. It's very dramatic. It's also very simple. That these forts are put up as a defence against the Saxons. The count is called the Count of the Saxon Shore. Now, whether that means it is the shore being attacked by the Saxons or settled by the Saxons, really we just don't know.
Andrew has found that the huge walls are actually better suited to protecting goods kept inside the forts, rather than attacking enemies from outside.
Well, I think these sites are doing much more than defending the coastline. If the Saxons came raiding, it wouldn't have been monthly, it may not have even been every year or every 10 years. So in terms of what these forts do, I think it's much more likely that they have a major economic role, or perhaps a supply role, rather than this kind of defensive function that's ascribed to them normally.
So what you seem to be suggesting then is that these forts could have been used actually to help trade from out of Britain rather than stop people coming in.
Yes, I think rather than trying to block access to the interior, as is perhaps traditionally thought, in fact these are quite the opposite insofar as materials and goods are coming here and then being shipped outwards and beyond into the empire as a whole.
Andrew has found no archaeological evidence that these forts were built to defend against an Anglo-Saxon invasion.